but your spouse say no, that's the end of your journey. This part, play the sad song.
Great. All right. So welcome back to our next episode of So Far So Good. So today we have our guest back in the house of our PRB studio. So welcome back, Eric.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for inviting me back. Thank you.
How have you been since our last published episode?
I hope that you love the episode that we did about a few months ago. So yeah,
6 months already. Time
but
flies.
these 6 months changed a lot, man. The property market, like, it's so different from the question that you asked me previously.
Yeah.
So everything has
I just did a last check just now. So as we were going through, I think the last round we answered close to about 28 different kinds of micro topics.
Come on, give me more, man. Those are simple questions. I need more challenging one. Come.
All right. Are you ready for today?
Always ready, man.
Okay, great.
Especially for you, Melvin.
Great.
Come on, let's go.
Okay, maybe before we start, I think some of our audience are also curious about what you do because we have done 2 episodes with you. Yeah, so maybe you can share a little bit about your consulting business.
Okay,
yeah.
Actually, previously I do a lot of face-to-face seminars. Basically, I teach people how to make money through property investment. So after COVID, then we do a lot of online programs.
Right.
Then right now, I do have a lot of people coming to me straight for consultation. We don't have that much consultation previously.
Right.
So maybe COVID, so people don't want to waste their time like, I still need to go through the program. Then after that, still need to come to me for one-to-one consultation. Just go to Eric. So right now, I was telling my wife, I think for this year, more or less, we will be like full-time like doctors. I'll be sitting in the room. So we have people coming in one by one.
Right.
Yeah, so consultation business, I have more people coming to me directly. Because most of them, they do not want to wait.
Right.
Yeah, some of them, they have been waited too long. They think that they have wasted so many opportunities, whereby like if you compare just even like 6 months ago, wow, if people who bought six months ago compared to now, you have already made at least minimum 100 lah. But we say the higher range, I see people make like 300,000-400,000 just for a 3-bedroom condo.
The market has changed, I would say, quite tremendously over the past couple of months.
Yeah.
Eric, what do you think about the most recent cooling measure, 16 December 2021? I mean, that was about 1.5 months after we spoke. The latest cooling measure came out, TDSR became 55%, ABSD increased.
Yeah, I was thinking like, the cooling measure is so fast. Okay, I remember there's 3 cooling measures. The real impact is the first one, whereby the TDSR from 60% become 55%. So if you do some math, it's about 8.3% change in your affordability. So if previously you can buy 1.2 million, so you base on the new TDSR 55%, you will become, your new affordability will be about 1 to 1.1 around there. Okay, but at least this is not so impactful to the last cooling measure, whereby the LTV, which is the maximum loan, whereby they drop from 80% to 75%. This is just TDSR decrease, so 55% means you can still take up to 75% loan. But however, right now, if your income can't hit that 75% loan, you can show funds which I think a lot of people, they are still quite surprised whereby, you mean I have cash, I have stocks portfolio, I can show the bank to increase the loan? Yes, you can. So there are 2 ways as we all know. One is to pledge, which means you need to put all the money in the bank for 4 years. The other one is to just to show the banks. Yeah, so of course, my method is always to best to show the bank, because putting the money in the bank for 4 years is, very long. I mean, opportunity cost 4 years is a long time.
Yeah, you're talking about unpledged.
So I always do the unpledged. Or my advice for people is usually the unpledged.
Yeah, based on your observation, since 16 December until today, do you feel any impact on the market? Yeah,
so I remember at that time during our episode, the cooling measure was not out yet. That was November that we had done this. So the cooling measure is in December. So we thought that having cooling measure will somehow tone down the market a bit, especially the resale market. Then who knows, after December went up, after cooling measure went up, January went up, February went up, March went up, even now a bit, it still went up.
Right.
And this period, we also have the Ukraine war. So I thought that, maybe it will somehow soften a bit. But I see that there's only the asking price by the sellers which is softened.
Right.
But the transactor price is still up.
Do you observe that it has softened? It's not asking prices.
Sometimes, usually I will check like Property Guru, like if you want to buy a property, if you look at market transacted price, let's say the market transacted price is about 1.5 million, the asking price is usually higher. This is our Singapore culture. We will ask higher price, we will let the buyer to negotiate lower, then we transact at the transacted price ma.
Right.
So when you buy a property, always look at market price. You don't look at asking price and you are feel very like affected by why so expensive. So you don't look at asking price. Asking price is just asking price.
Yeah.
So always look at transacted price. So going back, if the transacted price is about 1.5 million, I saw people are listing like 1.88 million. That was before like the war. 1.75 million. That is a bit crazy lah. So I call this not sincere sellers lah. I mean, if you are sincere, you are just trying your luck lah. Because all sellers know that it's transacted about 1.5 million. During the war, I see that transacted price, the asking price can be as low like 1.58. Okay. It's quite decent.
So you noticed there was a readjustment in terms of more hopeful expectations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because previously, for a lot of buyers who see such high price, they were like, turn off. It's like, I don't think I'm able to buy a property anymore.
Right. And we just did an episode, and based on our research team, we found that this year in 2022 is actually quite interesting because there's close to about 10 different kinds of things that are happening at the same time. So for example, starting off mid of last year, tech stocks has dropped.
Yeah, okay.
Then of course now you have the Ukraine war. Then you have the cooling measures. Then now, I mean the interest rate.
Yeah, interest
which
rate.
Today there was the latest news, maybe just to prick your brains a little bit. So today's latest news is that this rate hike is the biggest increase since year 2000. That means in the past 22 years, this is the biggest increase. Today.
I haven't read news. Today I only prepare for your so far so good.
It's okay. It's nothing new. It's just that after the latest Fed meeting, this happened. This is confirmed lah. So I also understand just now before our recording is that a lot of your so-called participants have been asking about your viewpoint on interest rate increase this year. So maybe share a little bit about what
I think not only they are worried about the price increase lah. Right now we have the interest rate increase, and this is the second time. I think this is the second. If they are going to increase, this is the second time. But I saw that there's this article whereby they say that they're going to increase like 6 times a year.
Yeah.
So they are on track.
Yeah.
But however, when people ask me about interest rates, it's something that we can't control. This one we need to know. Interest rate you can't control. But you can only control what you buy or what you do.
Right.
So if you can't control things that you cannot control, then focus on things that you can. Example, buy the right properties. If you think it's new launch is too high, then how about resale market? There are a lot of resale condos where they are growth areas. So these are things whereby they should focus on, and not only interest rate. And talk about increasing interest rate. Right now, I think fixed rate is about 2%. Most of the banks, some of the banks, they are so smart, they take out fixed rate interest rate. You don't see that happening last time.
Yeah.
So this time it's like the bank think that I give you fixed rate, not worth it. I will just give you floating rate because there's a lot of uncertainty for the bank to give you fixed rate as well. So even you talk about floating, it's about I may be wrong, but maybe about 1.1, 1.2%. But it's a gamble because you do not know how high the interest rate will go. But to me, I just guess, you don't take my word seriously. I just guess that this year floating rate, I don't think it will still go up to 2%. Yes, fixed rate is about 2, maybe 2 point something, but floating, I don't think it will go more than 2. So even at 2%, I think it's still okay because everyone, come on, you also pay your HDB loan like 2.5, 2.6. 2.6% for 20, 30 years. And right now, yes, interest rate is increasing. And actually, our mindset towards interest rate should be, right now is very low. So this is a bonus for us. But a lot of people thought that, we are all Singaporeans, we will think that, this is the norm. Anything above 1.5% is very high.
Yeah.
So this is a wrong mindset because I think a healthy interest rate is about 2+. So if you are at 1+, we should celebrate wow, very cheap But a lot of Singaporeans cannot take it, like increase like 0.5%. Like the clouds coming down. So interest rate, it don't really impact a lot. So it still come back to, if you buy a good property, if you get a good entry price for your property, that is more important than your interest rate. And interest rate you can't control.
Because the main kind of, I would say, fear that a lot of people have, in fact, this is like a global trend. Global trend based on economics is that whenever interest rate increase, of course, interest rate increase, it signals that the government is having that kind of, whether fiscal or monetary policy, that the economy is improving. For example, the reason why Federal Reserve, the Fed wants to increase interest rates to fight inflation. Right. However, because when interest rate increase, mortgage rates increase. Then in US, there's this very special thing called a 30-year fixed rate kind of thing. So usually globally, people will think that interest rate increase means reduce in purchasing power because the monthly installment increase, then your interest you have to pay to the bank increase as well. By that, it means a reduction in your purchasing power as well. Yeah, then it might lead to a fall in demand for real estate.
Yeah, I think for some quantum, I mean, there's still a sweet point for people to buy in.
Yeah.
It's still managing on the property price that you buy. So don't overbuy lah.
Maybe just to share this, we'll put in the video as well.
Okay.
So, there's this research by Morgan Stanley. I think it's a 2018 one. So the very interesting thing about Singapore is that the past 5 rounds, and actually now, this is going to be like the 7th round of interest rate increment. Yeah, so I think the very interesting thing to note is that will this round of increment actually cause price to go up in straight? Because the last 5 to 6 round, out of which there's only one round, which was the Asian financial crisis, that when interest rate increased, price dropped. But the rest, when interest rate increase, actually price increase.
So actually, don't look at interest rate. Interest rate is not the...
It's not the only factor.
Yeah, it's not the only factor. So, I mean, this is one of the main concerns, but this episode is to tell you this is not the concern.
Yeah, I think Singapore is different. We also have an article on our Insights page. Basically, it talks about the fact that in Singapore it's really vastly different because we have so many different factors that sort of build that moat around our property market. So somehow our interest rate vis-a-vis property price index does not really behave in accordance to how global trends behave. Perhaps maybe in the US, I think it might have impact and things like that. But there's also one very interesting thing is that today when I was driving down the office, just listening to the news, and they were saying that this is also a bit different from the previous round because now that it's so in sync, right, with the relaxation of COVID measures, that this year, although purchasing power for existing homeowners with maybe a flexi rate, they might see an increment in their monthly installment. But businesses in certain sector, example like F&B, example in some of the businesses that will benefit from the opening up, it might then spur on the economy as well. So I think there's sort of like a balance and things like that. Okay, going back to the Black Swan event, we talked about the few things, and of course there's this one thing it's called energy crisis, as well as the global food crisis, as well as I think the most recent one that I've been hearing from some of our builders for landed properties is that they talk about steel increasing in price, aluminium, concrete, even a lot of different kinds of materials that are involved in the construction of landed properties increase in some single or double digit. Based on this, construction costs is one of the key major kind of concern, which recently, I think just in the past 2 weeks, there's a lot of news about construction cost pressure. What do you think will be the implication for our next generation when it comes to real estate prices? Do you think it's I mean, like sometimes when I think about it, right, if let's say example, now I'm like a 20-over-year-old, just graduated, then I work maybe a few years, but it's getting harder to store up the first down payment. So what do you think about this trend? Is it healthy for the next generation?
Very good. Okay, we talk about the construction cost first.
Yes.
I actually got my landed during COVID. So I got a quote of this amount. This amount. And we were thinking like, I mean, no choice ma. And that was already at the low side, I mean, pre-COVID. Okay, we are getting about 320 to 350 PSF.
Per square foot,
So at least we have a number to justify the increase.
No, there's no more this price already.
450, okay, so right now, it's 30% more. So you are at least 400 plus. Just times according to the size and your GFA. So you'll see that because mine is a detached, so the increase is 600,000-700,000.
The construction cost.
When me and my wife is like, struggling, it's like, another 600-700K. And 700,000 is actually the cost to build another basement. So right now we have no more basement, and you need to pay another 600-700K. So when we are signing it, before he signed it, the builder said, actually, this haven't include GST. Your GST, another 7, that's another like almost 200,000. And this is just landed. So can you imagine the increase in like HDB prices, construction for HDB, construction for all the new launches, and all these consumer will pay for it. So talking about going back to whether is it healthy for the younger generations, recently I just came out another theory.
Okay.
We all know that the gap between upgraders is getting harder and harder. This is a fact. So everyone, really, this is a fact. You must agree with me. It is easier for an upgrader to upgrade to a decent 3-bedder previously. So right now it's getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
So I went to do some calculation, do some like comparison. So what is the gap? We came out, the gap is actually double. So that means previously, if your flat, if you sell at 600,000, you can comfortably buy a 1.2, 1.3 million 3-bedroom condo around your area. So it's like double.
Yeah.
And right now, it's still double. But you are looking at 1 million flat, then your 3-bedder is about 2 million.
Yeah.
So it is always double, but it's getting harder and harder and harder.
Yeah. The affordability, the quantum, the entry price.
Yeah, so we are really going towards the times whereby it is very difficult for our younger generations to buy properties. That's why developers also have that kind of challenges. They try to build as much as possible. So I was quite shocked that Piccadilly Grand, the 2-bedder is like 646 square feet. The 2-bed 2-bath is like, wow, it's tiny, man. So previously, I mean, the norm for 2-bedder is about 710. So that is already small. Now it's like 650, 646. 3-bedder is like less than 900. It is tougher and tougher, seriously. So, I mean, right now, we still have this discussion whereby most people still can buy properties. So if you wait any longer, I don't think don't have this episode already lah. It's like no one will buy. So the next trend will everyone will rent lah. Will start renting. They will do like co-living style. Yeah, so that's why if you have a chance to buy a decent property now, you should do it now. Instead of telling yourself, oh, interest rate lah, building costs, these are the things that we can't control. And we all know that prices, even don't have these things happen, the price is not going anywhere lower. Yeah, and land price is, okay, even like construction cost is okay, the interest rate is okay, the land price is always not okay.
Yeah.
The land price is always going up.
Yeah.
So just with that factor, you should know that owning, I think, going back to owning properties is a blessing. So everyone should do that if you are ready to do that.
So you're talking about upgraders.
Yeah, upgraders.
Right? Because upgraders, they have that. After storing their capital plus that paper gain after the MOP 5 years and things like that, right? Okay, so yeah, later we'll come back to touch on this affordability thing again.
Affordability.
Yeah, because I mean recently there's really been so much news about real estate. Like for example, past few days talk about HDB resale prices increasing straight for the 22nd month, and then even April it went up. Just a couple of days back, Singapore landed home see fastest price appreciation in the past 10 years.
Yay! Okay.
Then of course, young buyers, top concerns, rising property prices, GST high. Okay, you know recently the news about the Keppel HDB, right? BTO.
Okay. BTO.
4 room 700,000, correct?
4 room 700,000.
700,000. Okay, so there was like one of the hit news past 2 weeks. When me and my guys we saw this, and then we just thinking.
What's your thoughts?
No, our thoughts is that, you know, about a year, I don't know when was the cut-off point, about 1 to 2 years back. The trend for brand new BTOs is that government suddenly stopped building 5 rooms. Suddenly you don't see BTO 5 rooms anymore.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you suddenly see all the BTO launches. Most of them are 2, 3, and 4 rooms. Okay, so that took place for, I don't know how long, maybe 12 to 24 months. And then in the past, during the days of like Pinnacle, Duxton, and all that kind of stuff, or during the days where you have very prime HDB, the BTOs for 5 room, maybe the BTO price will be around the range of maybe 600,000 entry price, right? But now suddenly you see the Keppel 4 room at 700,000. So I mean, this is not the fault of the government, because the land price is increasing, right? Construction cost is increasing. It takes more to build on prime land as well. But you can see that direction, right? So firstly, elimination of the 5-room flat. Everybody will just stop remembering that there's a 5-room. It's just like in the past, suddenly the elimination was for EM and EA. Then now 5-room is eliminated already. Then now we're left with 2, 3, 4. And now suddenly 4-room is 700,000. And then you will think that, actually quite okay, right? I'm buying the biggest BTO at 700,000. So I shouldn't say it's good marketing, but I would say that it is an inevitable move because of the global inflation of everything, right? Yeah, so I think there is this possible trend that is coming up. I'm not sure, what do you think? So recently we talked about this separation line in the year of 2013. Because when we look at all the cooling measures, there's 10 over rounds. But 2013 was a very significant year with the TDSR. So suddenly, I don't know if you remember or not, 2013, a lot of people, when TDSR came out, they took it with a very shocking effect, because a lot of business owners, last time, I mean, loans were quite easily dish out, right? Banks don't look at your credit card. 2013 was a very defining moment, because I still remember when 2013 TDSR came out, a lot of our clients who are business owner, their NOA was not ready. So after that, they cannot get loans. They need to take 1 to 2 years to
build up their track record.
To build up their track record, right? And then of course everything will be under scrutiny, your credit and stuff. Okay, the defining year happened because there was this few very important projects. Sky Habitat launch halfway, TDSR came out, price drop. Okay, so if you look at the transaction 2013, got 2 sets of prices. One is before TDSR, one is after TDSR with some PSF discount. Then after that, Skyview was launched by the same developer. That causes a shift in the layout and the size, and that was the rise of small quantum kind of concept. That means we go by quantum. We don't talk about PSF anymore. We start to talk about quantum already. Yeah, we talk about 2 bed 1 mil where you can buy 2 bed, 3 bed 1.4 mil and stuff like that. Okay, so what we're seeing is that the Sky Habitat days, 1 bedder, very big. 1 bedder is like 700 plus square feet, 800 square feet. Then Skyview, after 2013, it was launched. The developer designed the 1 bedder to be about 500 square feet. Quantum, keep it small. Sky Habitat, 2 bedder, very big. Skyview, 2 bedder, 800 plus. 800 plus.
Skyview, 600 plus.
600 plus, 800 plus. Okay. Yeah. So the differential is that I pay for a 2 bedder here, right? Here I can only buy 1 bedder.
Yeah, correct.
I pay 3 bedder here. Here I can only buy 2 bedder. Okay. But now we're starting to see quite a fair bit of transactions build up in this kind of projects. Example, Sky Habitat, Reflections, Deleden. All these are the big size, but PSF lower one. But now their quantum sort of start to make sense already. Yeah, because now with the $2,000 over PSF vis-a-vis the smaller price, their quantum is matching up. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think of this trend? That might happen, but shift back to some of these mega projects with big size, lower PSF.
Actually, all these big size projects give a lot of value for people who need size, number one, and the quantum is decent. It's very decent.
In today's context, right?
Yeah, I mean, look back, previously we'll be thinking like, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Now look back, I mean, comparing what is available in the market, especially the new ones, you will see that you can get a Deleden 3-bed, 2-bath, 2 to 2.1 million. It's very decent. It's like only 8 years old, I guess. 8 years old.
Right.
1 kilometer to your Nanyang Primary, and you stay in district 10. That's 10. So it's like core region, and you can get this kind of price. Yeah. Very decent. But again, these are above 2 million budget. Yeah. But most people don't have this budget.
As in HDB upgrader families.
Yeah, they don't have this budget. Right. I mean, most of them, even they do not want to commit to such a high quantum because the installment is very tough. It's very tight on them also.
So they will go for OCR, resale.
Yeah.
1516 range. Yeah.
So of course, if you need a school factor, then you have no choice lah. I mean, so this is what I call the family value I mean, it's not investment anymore. I need a place to stay near my kids. Right. But who don't want a place whereby you still have the appreciation factor? So I mean, Deleden is one of the good ones. But I do have people who complain lah. It's a very big project lah. I mean, just get something that suits your family needs lah. But Deleden is one of the good ones. Yeah. Sky Habitat, Skyview, those are good ones. I mean, and you can check on the master plan. Previously, in that area, you can see that there's a lot of residential plots of land. So I think the later master plan already changed to only Skyview and Sky Habitat is the only 2 condos there. So making them the exclusive one. And there are 3 bedder. Are they considered city fringe? Yes, right?
Bishan is.
Yes, So even
there's a boundary. Then Ang Mo Kio is OCR.
Yeah. So I take them as city fringe. So their 3 bedder is about also 2+ million. But most of the people, HDB upgraders, they need 3 bedder because most people stay in 4-room flat, 5-room flat, they have 3 bedrooms. So now that's why right now you can see the trend. The trend for property price index for OCR. OCR is the only one that is increased very stably. It's very healthy. That's why OCR is a place where people will buy. It's an evergreen place where people will buy. Good times people will buy. Bad times people will buy.
Because of the support base of HDB upgraders families.
Yeah. The least risk to make money is to buy in areas where upgraders will buy. So in summary, buy
where there's a future demand.
You buy in demand. I mean, some people were still asking me things like, can I buy CBD? Yeah. I don't know why.
What are your thoughts?
CBD is bad. CBD is real bad. Okay, that's my thoughts because you must learn who are the buyers.
Okay, so, but CBD. There are some projects that belongs to this 2013 era one.
Okay.
Which is also starting to make sense already. In terms of like quantum. I don't know what do you think. Some of the mega bigger ones. There's a very interesting trend. I mean there's no right and wrong. Everybody has different kind of school of thoughts. Yeah. The interesting trend is that on the ground, some of the buyers are confused.
Okay.
Right? They look at, example, an RCR launch.
City Fringe launch.
900 square feet.
Okay.
2002.
1.8, 1.000.
Example, 2000 2002. Okay, 2002 lah.
1.8 million lah, about there lah. 1.8 plus.
Okay, 2002 it will be 2 mil already.
Yeah.
2 mil,
Wow.
3 bedder lah.
Sweats, yeah. Okay.
900
2
square
mil.
feet, 2002
Okay,
TSF,
okay.
99 years. Then they look at the sale. Example, there's this unit, 60 over level, just done.
Wow,
This
nice.
one, come, have a look. The sale used to be your favorite lah. Come on, just have a look.
I love lah. I love.
You
the
sold
sale
already,
lah.
ma, right?
I don't have.
Or don't have? Okay. So,
I love, but I didn't buy.
okay, so 2.3 done.
Okay.
1008 PSF.
Yeah.
1003 square feet, 60 over level. On the ground, some consumers are confused. Of course, that is a new launch. This is a resale lah. This one is older already, 10 plus, coming to 20 years. But quantum is starting to match up.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey, got value, eh.
Yeah, like this one,
Ah.
bigger 3 bedder, right beside MBS.
Yeah.
You know, then 2.3. This one 2.2, 900 square feet, city fringe. But this one is in the CBD. So, what is your advice for people thinking about that? Of course, it depends also whether the person likes brand new or resale. So but if let's say the person got no preference,
Okay.
what is your advice? And they ask you, hey Eric, so which one should I buy?
Okay, my first thought when I see like at,
okay, let's have a
at
look at
level
that.
60 plus,
Okay, let's
You
have a look
can-
at the lease. The lease. Tenno 2002, so 20 years already. Left
lah.
79.
yeah, I think the lease is fine. So okay, so the person who buy the sale, you can get a above 60 floor at 2.3 plus million versus a small 3 bedder at City Fringe.
Yeah, maybe level 8.
Okay, so before I advise on this one, I would be thinking that why this one so cheap I mean, why the sale so cheap? Because by right, as I say, since there are so much demand, the
Yeah.
sale prices should be higher.
Mm.
So my first thought is still come back to the same thought.
Right.
It don't increase. This is one of the fear. I mean, things may happen when prices getting higher. By right, this one will go higher.
Yeah.
But right now, the thought I have right now is because this one hasn't been going up.
Right. It like has the price plateau.
Yeah, it's just don't go up.
Okay, so let's say in 8 years time, 2030, when everything in RCR go up, let's say to about 2009, for example, what do you think will be the price of this? Will this still go up by a few $100?
Definitely, you see some increase.
So midterm is okay. Midterm strategy. Let's say 8 years time.
8 years midterm
8 years horizon.
8 years to me is very long.
5 to 8 mid.
Because
midterm
I
lah.
usually
short is 3 lah.
Yeah,
Short is
I will
3.
usually use 3 years to plan what will the price at that time.
Yeah, 3 years to us is short lah because you just clear the SSD
Yeah,
and
correct.
you can sell Yeah. So
Yeah.
5 to 8 is mid. 10 to 15
Yeah,
is
because
long.
I like to challenge myself of looking things which is if I can make money in the shorter term. I mean, everyone want to make money.
the
in
highest
sooner.
ROI lah, within
so
3 years.
So if I can focus in which area can make the money in the shortest time, we should focus on that Midterm anyone make money one
So in midterm 8
This one
years,
show make money show make
how much do you think this will be?
2.3, 500 maybe.
At least 2003.
Yeah, possible.
That means
$500,000 possible.
From 1008 PSF to 2003.
Yeah, possible.
Of course, I think end of the day it depends on the person's preference, right?
Yeah, correct.
And
because this is somehow a lifestyle property. You're talking about good school. I don't think you have good school.
Yeah.
Talking about supermarket.
Have lah downstairs.
Okay, have. But
the
the
whole
atas
underground
one,
mall.
the atas
The
one,
whole-
the atas one.
yeah.
But you say, I mean, most HDB upgraders, they need like kopitiam, that's me, kopitiam, good school, amenities. So this is really not for everyone.
Right.
It's really somehow lifestyle who love this kind of property. That's why you don't see a lot of such property transacted.
Right. So one of the other reasons we are also asking your thoughts, right, is because we are seeing this trend on the ground. Especially over the last 6 months, a lot of clients they are asking about specifically all these projects before the 2013 era.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's really because of this trend. That means, okay, but of course, to be fair, a lot of the clients, they're asking this kind of questions, they have budget above 2 million. Yeah, which is why when you have a budget above 2 million, it expands your territory.
Yeah.
So they start to look at the mega projects. Reflections has been quite popular. This also has been quite popular. Then Deliden, Sky Vitat, all these mega kind of things. So interesting trend that's going on. Okay, what do you think are usually some of the mind blocks of so-called families that hope to upgrade? But what are the very common fears?
Oh, this is so fun. Number one, your spouse. Actually, spouse is the most important factor in your upgrading journey.
Alignment of objective lah.
Yeah, just one of them say no, how to do. I don't care whether your income is very high, you have low commitment, you have everything perfect, but your spouse say no. That's the end of your journey. This part, play the sad song. Actually this is main thing, because people who come to me, they are all aligned one. Eric, I want to do. One is fearful, but they want to do. But that's important. They align, they want to get something. They do not want to overcommit. So they are still working towards the goal. I mean, some of them is totally cut off one. No. This kind gone lah.
Right. What is number 2?
Okay, spouse most important. So marry the right person. You need to have guts lah. That one important. That's why I come to Eric. Eric give you guts. Yeah, I think guts is important, but guts comes from experience, and experience comes from knowledge. Right.
Courage lah.
Courage, knowledge, everything you need, and I think you need to have a plan. I mean, to be rich or to make money, everyone should have a plan, I mean, without a plan, you do not know how to move. So if you know that people have been making money from property, I mean, everyone will know whether they are capable to buy or not. But it's just sometimes they too fearful and they start thinking about other stuff like interest rate going up, construction going up, blah, blah, blah. Then they'll cut off. And once they cut off, they'll continue to work. They'll continue to work. Then 10 years later, when the days whereby it's so difficult to do, then they'll come to me again. Eric, can I do now? Am I too late? So I think, and age is another important factor, because age will determine what is the loan tenure.
Right.
Of course, right now, there are ways to get up to 75 years of age. So even if you are 50 years old, you can get 25 years loan, which is still healthy. So, but if today you are 60, I will ask you to combine with your kids' teamwork to buy property already. So there are still ways, but most of the time where people don't do is, they are not hungry enough, they are not gutsy. Because there are cases where I have people coming to me, they buy all sorts of property. They don't know anything.
Right.
They buy wrong property, but make money. I mean, they should have made more, but buying wrong property, they make money. So the summary is, you need guts to make money. They are gutsy. They make a lot of money by doing anything, but they did something. So many people haven't tasted money before because they haven't taken the first step to buy their first property. So that's why my encouragement is always, you should get a plan and get the first one first. Although my tagline is like, I teach people how to sell one, buy two, but a lot of people, when they heard about the second property, they are so scared because getting the first one is already fearful. So my advice, get the first one first. You tasted money, you sure say, oh, Eric, I want to plan for a second one as soon as possible. But always take the first step by getting the first one first. Because as you learned just now, the gap from HDB to private is double. So previously, 500 to a million is like quite easy. Now it's 1 million to 2 million is harder. So you know that this is how the property market goes up. That's why we should do earlier. And because we are not getting any younger, age is one of the most important factors. But that's why most of my network members, their average age is about 40 to 45. I think it's getting younger, which is good. I see younger people coming. They have aspirations to get their condos as soon as possible, which is good because I don't see young people coming, or they don't even have the thoughts of upgrading previously.
But
so now,
largely married couples.
Right. Single, yes. But same things. Singles, as what you say just now, you can't get flat, so you can't get BTO because you're less than 35. So you can do the way that I did. So I partner with another friend. We buy property together. 3 years, we sell, make the first pot of gold, and then I use the money to buy one on my own. So there are a lot of ways how you can do, but buy the right property. I mean, you buy the wrong one, also gone.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things. So if you ask me who can't do, actually most people can do one. It's just that they don't have the exposure of people that they know who have condos. Example, your siblings have no condos, your parents has no condos. It's very natural for you to feel fearful. It's like, I'm the odd one out. If I buy now, then am I doing the right thing? But if you are born in a family whereby your parents owns condos or landed, their first thought is, I will sure buy one. And they will buy condo, minimally. So this is how parents should start teaching. I mean, your kids follow your footsteps. If they see your parents don't do anything, it's natural that you won't do anything. Try to mix with people who have properties. I mean, instead of Melvin, me, buy. You mix with them, ask them, hey, how's your condo? Everything good? They will say, yeah, like that, make money, like that, rental, easy, like that. Then it will give you the confidence to do. Because if you don't have that kind of exposure, I don't think you will like, hey, buy property. I mean, no one have, hey, buy property.
Yeah. The environment, the community you are in.
Correct. You need this kind of environment, ma.
So just now you mentioned the first one is alignment with your spouse.
Yeah, that's most important.
Number two is courage through having knowledge.
Yeah,
right?
courage, knowledge, hungry for success. You need, ma. I mean, sometimes you have courage, but you are like.
Why do you think that rental is increasing now?
Well, good question. Some got people ask me, I say I also don't know. I don't know where these people come from. The only thing I can say, prices is getting higher and higher. This is one fact. And people can't buy anymore. They start to rent. And you ask me who are the people renting? I really go and kaypo. Hey, who are your tenants? Who are? They come from where? Really? Yeah. The people working, like if you stay near hospital, you have your nurses lah, who will stay there. International school, your students lah. But it's actually surprisingly, the rental really goes up a lot. Like we talk about Pasir all the way to the end. A small 3-bedder, you can get like 3,400. I mean, last time how much only? 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
Wow, now it's 3,500. I mean, 3,500 was pre-COVID City Fringe 3-bedder. Now City Fringe, I don't want to know. It's like 4,000-5,000. It's like, wow, crazy. But we will see this kind of trend getting more and more. Is because prices is getting so high where people can't buy anymore and people start to rent. This is a sad scenario. I personally wish everyone to own a property when you can, and especially we are in such a good country whereby you see not only Singaporeans are buying, foreigners they are rushing to buy. Even with ABSD, even with high interest, they also don't care. They just want a piece of Singapore. So how about Singaporeans?
Right.
Should get something lah. I don't wish everyone tell me, Eric, how I wish. No lah, no wish lah, do now, man. Yeah, the thing is about plan now, do now, and work towards your goal, ma. Discuss with your spouse, that's most important, whereby which area you want to stay for the next 5 to 8 years. Midterm lah. Then zoom in an area and do it.
So when interest rate increase, those existing homeowners who are on floating rates, right? Example, when mortgage increase even more, do you think that will also cause an increase in future rental prices? Because naturally, homeowners want to pass on
all the
rising costs, right, into the rental.
Yeah.
This is one thing, interest rate. Secondly, I think it's because of the rise in demand. Right? I think a lot of landlords are also taken by shock that, when they want to renew, then they realize that the transacted rental has suddenly just shot up. So I think it's a little bit like a herd mentality that over the past 2 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, suddenly you want to renew your existing residential investment property, then you see, hey, all the transacted rental has increased. I also want to increase. And then it sort of then set the new benchmark. Right?
Correct.
Do you think that rental prices will come down over the next 2 years? Or do you think it will continue to maintain or maybe increase a little bit?
I mean, based on right now, with the thoughts that I don't even know where the people come from, it's already so high. Next 2 years.
I mean, like now things are starting to open up.
Right? Now open up, tourism, everything started.
Do you think
to go back
some
to
of the expats, because now they can travel back?
Talking about expats. We talk about China because they still have very strict rules on their COVID. They want to make COVID zero. That's their objective. So and you see the way how they control the people. If you are working there, I think you will want to move to other country. I mean, since you are already expats going to other countries to work, that's why I see influx of people like Hong Kong expats coming to Singapore. I think there are some articles talking about that. I think that's one of the reasons why rental increase, because we have such demand of expats coming to Singapore to work. I'm not sure about international students, whether are they already coming to Singapore, but since Singapore is opening up, people will take this as another alternative country to come to work and study. So next 2 years, I only know something. If rental is already at this price, it will only fluctuate around that price. You don't really get like pre-COVID price anymore. That's my thoughts lah. It may go low, but you won't get that kind of pre-COVID price anymore. So we need to condition ourselves. The times have changed lah. So this is about the benchmark that you're looking at. Even they sort of like a bit only lah.
Okay, so last question. Why did I ask that question about the young buyers and investors is that I think a lot of people on the ground will be thinking that, if I'm a single person, my choices are so limited. If I want to buy my first property, HDB, it has to be 35 years old.
So that's not a good choice.
Then from now, let's say I graduate 25 to 35, 10 years, I'm stuck. I cannot buy anything. I cannot buy anything. The only way out is if I want a place on my own, I rent, like what you mentioned, right? And rental is also increasing tremendously.
Correct.
So the other option is for me to quickly save up that first down payment. But that first down payment is getting wider and wider in terms of the 25% plus the stamp duty and all that kind of stuff. Then of course the third way is for me to get married, because then I can.
Yeah, but that one is you can't control as well.
Yeah, you can't control, right? But I think the fortunate thing about us being in Singapore is that we always have that option of quicker entry should you be successful in finding your life partner, because the moment you find a life partner, you can go straight into resale.
Yeah,
you can get grant. Grant is very powerful. You can, of course, BTO, you technically waste that construction period 4-5 years, then you wait another 5 years. But I think we always have that base level of support in terms of the grants to go into a HDB first, then they can have the capability to upgrade. The question that I want to come back and ask your thoughts is that in, let's say, now it's 2022, 2030, 8 years time, what do you think will be an entry price of, okay, now a new launch RCR is at least 2,000, right, PSF. 2030, what will be the entry price of an RCR new launch? Because then we can work backwards to the quantum price. Okay, so before you answer, right? Yeah. Now 2,000 PSF based off a size of 600 odd square feet. Entry is already 1.3, 1.2 plus 1.3 lah. And we're talking about low floor lah. Okay, we're talking about low floor.
Low floor, no view, everything no.
If high floor will be 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, right? Correct, okay. So 2030, what is your projection? PSF, based on how things are moving, is that
Okay, good question, but maybe I just add a bit more numbers. For new launch right now, 2022, the 3-bedder, we talk about 3-bedder lah. Then we use 3-bedder. If you are talking about 2-bedder, you just add more PSF on top.
Okay, we talk about 2 and 3-bedder.
2 and 3 lah. Okay. So if 2020, okay, so now 2022, the by right, the 3-bedder should be selling between around 2,001. Due to all the land price, blah, 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 blah. So it's about 2001.
RCR.
Yeah, RCR. And of course, I hope the lower better lah. So even if you put the number to 2,000, that means your 2-bedder should be about 2,001, around 2001. So you times the square feet, you put 700 lah. A bit luxury 700 times 2001, 1.4 plus million already. So talking about 1.4 plus million for a 2-bedder in city fringe, is it healthy? The answer is yes, because if you can see all the sub-sale or all the condos less than 5 years old, they are 2-bedder, 2-bath, is about 1.4. Right. Some even go up to 1.5. So if you say brand new at 1.4, is it a steal? Yes. So we can say that 2,000 for 3-bedder, 2,001 for 2-bedder is healthy. But reality, I think developer is 2,001 for 3-bedder, 2,002 for 2-bedder. Then they will be more balanced It's like, hey, resales already so expensive. My one brand new should be higher So always minus 100 PSF on the year lah. So what is that? If it's 2022, 3-bedder 2001. If it's 2024, 3-bedder 2003. So if you see DBS article, they put out some time back, 2030, city fringe should be 2009. For 3-bedder. So if you say 2-bedder, 3,000 So 3,000 times 700. No lah, that time no 700 That time 500 only
So your projection is that every year it will increase by 100 PSF?
Yeah, it's about 100.
100 PSF increment every year?
Every year. Okay. For new launch for new launch. So when people ask me about how about resale, of course resale won't move as fast as new launch. You can taper down to 70, 80 for the newer ones lah. But we can see that the trend of 100 per square feet for this 1-2 years, it's there. It's every year 100, every year 100. Thinking about that is scary, man.
Yeah. Actually, you talk about resale, right? I think there are some blue chip properties. Okay, so for example, something that shocked us is City Square Residences.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, shocking. I think
actually, the other one I also thought shocking. Is Kerrisdale. 99, 17-year-old. A lot of people thought that it's old. Right. But if you see the recent transaction, they make like a few 100,000.
Just have a look at City Square. The 3-bedder, just at the beginning of 2021, was doing at about 1.8.
1.8, 1.9. How today, everyone? You want to make a guess?
Now is...
what do you see there?
Okay, but no such prices. End of December, transacted was 2.26.
Yep. There's 2. I remember there's 2 of them.
Yeah. So now people are asking about 2.5 already.
Okay, and I have the latest news, guys.
Okay,
I have consultation So so this person came to me, consultation, and told me, Eric, my friend just sold 2.3 plus. Haven't caveat. So you will see.
So that means from last year until now, in about 15 months, the appreciation is about 500,000. So 500,000 based on last year's transacted at 1.8 plus. That's close to at least about a 30% increase in the last 1 year. So I think sometimes there are blue chip resale. For example, this is a blue chip because this is the like last freehold beside the MRT station.
Okay, so I learned something today. So to Melvin, this is blue chip resale.
Blue chip resale. Blue chip resale.
Okay, so a lot of people tend to ask me, Eric, what is considered good property? This is what is called good. Blue chip. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I call there are good properties like that. Okay, so what is the spur of the good area? This one people will think that Piccadilly Grand is like so expensive buy resale freehold some more nearer to the mall at this price. That's why you see that there are good properties, blue chip properties like that. And if you want to have another comparison, we can see Côte d'Azur. It's a French word. I don't know how to pronounce.
Correct. Côte d'Azur, correct.
Okay, so I remember in November last year, the 3-bedder is about 2 million. 1.9 plus, 2 million, 1.9 plus, 2 million. 1 month later, December, 2.38. So imagine you are the buyer of the 2 million, you will know that, wow, I have already made 380,000 paper gain. I mean, you will feel good when you see that, oh.
Yeah, you can refinance. You can cash out a little bit.
People buy higher than me. Okay, so that's the fun of property, buying in a blue chip property. Okay. So I had people wanted to buy Court. I mean, usually when I recommend this kind of property, it will go up. We just don't know when.
Right.
So you bought last year wholesale.
Yeah.
So at 2.38, how are you going to buy? So I told my member, how about you pray hard, you hope for the next transaction to drop. Okay, so next transaction, 2.18. Then you think, hey, drop by 200k. But it was 180,000 higher than 2 months ago. I mean, those people will buy 2 million. So it's 2 million, 2.38, then now 2.18. It's still higher. So my advice, you have no choice. Condition, this is the benchmark right now. So 2.18, followed by like 2.15, followed by 2.1 something. Latest, pew, 2.4 plus. Then I tell them, good game already. So move on. So you see, when City Fringe give you that kind of price, you can't make it anymore. We go for the next one. Next station. Next station don't have nothing. Marine Terrace nothing. Then Siglap, you have your seaside residences, which is very new, so it's not a very good comparison. Then you have Bayshore. So even at Bayshore, Costa del Sol, which is the same year as Côte d'Azur, they are both 18 years old, also transacted about 3-bedder 2.1 plus. I look at transactions every day, so I know that there are times where it's undervalued because Côte d'Azur, which is a City Fringe one, versus the Bayshore Costa, they were transacting about the same price for their 3-bedder last year. So of course, taking a newer one in City Fringe with Tao Nan Primary is no-brainer. Okay, so at the end of the day, you need to know where are the opportunities. Focus on opportunities rather than focus on interest rate going up.
I mean, that's what you're saying is that some people focus a lot on macro. Right. But actually on the micro, on the ground, at PRB we call it the disparity effect. Some projects will move first.
Okay, now I learned something.
The other okay, so for example, recently I was just sharing with my guys. Just have a look at Mandarin Gardens. So a lot of people think that old properties, no appreciation. Actually, is
I don't know why. They always say lease decay
Okay, so Mandarin Gardens is 99 years from 1982.
Older than me.
1 year younger than me.
So we are the same age
Okay.
Then he's quite young.
40 years old.
He's quite young.
Thank you.
It's a young project, guys. Buy.
Okay, 40 years old. That means balance left 50 plus.
Okay.
Right? So have a look at this. This is also very strange. There's no way that you can get such a huge property anymore.
At this price.
At this price. Okay, so for example, have a look at, so 3-bedder is about 1,005. Then some of the big ones, 3-bedder at average about 1,005 square feet. So last year, March, 1,005 square feet plus is going at 1.6 to 1.8. Now, latest transaction is at 2 million. So it's about 1 year. It's also about 1 year.
But this project has the en bloc effect.
But of course, en bloc is very hard to happen. Because a lot of people don't
so they may want to try. That's why they may have this effect.
Okay, great. So fantastic to have Eric. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Good to have you for second round.
Let's do the third one.
Can. Okay. I think we can meet once every 6 months, especially when the market changes. Good to come back.
True.
All right. So everybody, this is Eric Chiu, and we'll see you on the next episode of So Far So Good. All right.
My plans today not like that time. Right.
Coordinated today is dark blue day.